in Ruth chapter 1, Ruth was saying that she will go all the way with her mother-in-law. She will even die where she died. I mean, she will be buried where she is buried. So if I were to put it straight, if you are going to have a marriage that is effective, godly, durable, you enter into marriage with no plan B. If you get into marriage with a plan B, then the success rate of that marriage is very questionable. And commitment is saying to yourself, there is no U-turn. Whether it is in due season or out of season. So if I were to answer your question straight, under what condition? In the marriage vow, the Christian marriage vow, we say to ourselves that I will be faithful in health or in sickness, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer. And the modified version of the marriage creed will be, in all circumstances, I will stand with you. So if you are going into a Christian marriage, I should sit down. I think I will appreciate that. If you are going into a Christian marriage, then you would do well to make up your mind that there is no plan B.
We thank God for what our first speaker has responded on this issue. I think we may help ourselves to first look critically at the word commitment itself. And I was looking at this saying that commitment is a readiness to give yourself, your time, your energy, your money to something or to someone that you believe in to make things to work. Now, so first is that if you don't believe in something, you will not be committed to that thing. And if you don't believe in someone, you will also not be committed to that person. So before we can talk about commitment, there must have been this inner conviction that I am ready to give this particular course of action all that it will take to make it to work. Now, when you now bring it to the story of Ruth, we will say that it is possible that a committed person remains affirmative even when it seems as if the other person you are dealing with is already losing hope. And that is what it takes for a relationship to be sustained. Now you will notice that just like we have said, for Ruth, all hope, for Naomi, it was like all hope was lost. But for Ruth, she could still see a light at the end of the tunnel. So what brings commitment is what you have seen. A person who cannot see beyond the present circumstances will not be committed. But when you have commitment, you will know that it means that hope and faith is connected to the issue of commitment. A person who has lost hope will not be committed. A person who also does not have faith anymore that things will work will not be committed. So when you have faith and you have hope, you are able to look beyond the prevailing circumstances, and then you see things working at the end of the day. And that's what we saw about Ruth in that story.
To be a woman of faith, you will discover that there's something that happened to Ruth. Ruth must have believed in the God that Naomi was serving. Of course, that was why she said, your God will be my God. So she has come to a point where she believes this God that this woman is serving has ability to save and to deliver. He has ability to give hope, even in the hopeless situation. And that was why she was able to see ahead of the circumstances that was prevailing at that time, to see God in the situation, that he has ability to bring hope even in this hopeless situation. And that's what we call faith. So for a woman to be able to see beyond the prevailing circumstances, that person must have faith. And we all know that faith, just like the Bible says, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You know, when you have not seen something and you believe that this thing is actually going to come true because of your trust in God, who has ability to do all things. So faith in God will make somebody to look beyond prevailing circumstances.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, mommy and daddies. We are most grateful.
So sorry.
Okay.
Maybe because of what she said, that will mean that for every woman, because you directed it to women, but if for all of us, your relationship with God is key. You know that if you look at the example of the marriage of Job, it was like it got to a point when Madam Job, her faith could not carry the situation again. And she would rather prefer that the husband will die and maybe she would be free to go and marry another person. Okay? So our relationship with God is key, that is a serious key that will help us to remain committed even when it seems as if things are not working. So we should build our relationship with God. That is important to me because during the time of a quiz competition that we just had now, there was a question that was asked and they said, who would prefer romance to spiritual something in marriage? And I was looking at people that were racing whether it is their husband's shoe or it is the wife's shoe. You know, when our spiritual life is not taken serious, in the days of challenges, we will lose our commitment. Sometimes economic hardship can make people to lose commitment. Now, before we talk about what should be the disposition, maybe we should first look at what brought an individual into a marriage. If it was money that brought you, when there is no more money, of course, you will be disappointed, you will be frustrated, and then you may begin to misbehave, and your commitment will begin to also wane, whether it is the man or the woman. But when we are committed, we are still talking about commitment. When we are committed, economic hardship, whether due to loss of job or due to any other thing that brings that, or somebody is brought down or demoted and salary comes down or business fails, that is the time when we actually prove our love to the other person. So it is expected that we should be able to stand by the spouse who has lost the job or who has become economically incapacitated. If we don't stand by that person at that time, then it means that we are not actually committed to the person, because it is actually in the time of hardship that commitment is tested. My wife is going to share with us a little. There was a time when the Lord was calling me into the work of the ministry, and I was refusing to yield unto the Lord until our company had very serious problem. A serious problems that I was no longer able to go to work, I was no longer generating income, and we had to be dependent on a mega salary. How did we survive? What was her attitude? How did she handle me at that time that did not allow me to go and hang myself and commit suicide? Things became very tough. At a point, our brassiere was remaining maybe only 2. My pant was remaining about 2 or 3. My pant would have torn in about 3 places. Her brassiere would have torn in about 3-4 places. And then she will put thread on needle. She will hold one. She will give me one. She will give me brassiere to be sewing. She will be sewing pants, because she said that brassiere is thicker. And you know, a man will not be patient to sew the pant that is not thick, it will be tearing more. And then so she will be sewing my pant carefully, and I'll be sewing her brassiere. And then we weather the storm because she had the grace to be able to stand by me at that point of hardship. I think you can talk more about that.
It's not me, it is just God's grace. I think what helped a woman or a man to stand by the side of the other partner that is having challenge at a particular time is actually your love for that person and your conviction that actually led you into that relationship. Just like my husband has said, if it is money that made you to go into the relationship when there's no more money, then such a person will want to back out. If it is beauty, if there's no beauty again, we don't pray that anything evil will happen to anybody. We have seen situations where people will get married and there will be a fire incident and the beauty of one person will be dented because of fire incidents. Do you say because this person is not looking fine again, I'm going to back out of it? So our conviction of God led me to this marriage, and that I have decided, just like we are talking about commitment, I have made up my mind to love this person in spite of whatever happens, and I'm going to give him whatever it takes, everything about myself to help this person. You know, is key into helping us to be able to stand when there are challenges, because when every marriages that we have, we all pass through one time of challenge or the other. When I was looking at those our young couples that were brought out, and some were saying just 3 months, some said 4.5. In fact, one said 4 months, 2 weeks. I was so excited how beautiful it would be if the experience is just full of bed of roses like that and there's no challenges. But there are bound to be challenges, just like Jesus Christ said that in this world you will have tribulation. But when they come, what helps us is I am committed to this person and I'm going to give him all that it takes. So when it came to our own time of challenge, I just made up my mind, God helping me, I have come to accept this man as my husband, and I am not the one that set myself into the relationship. It is you, oh God. And if you are the one, then just like Ruth said, your God will be my God. Then I know God, you will back me up in this situation. And so I made up my mind, everything that I have, I'm going to use to support him. And God helped me. Even with how much am I earning then, I was earning 800 naira as a teacher then. No work, we have two girls at that time. I made up my mind, I'm going to go into petty trading. Then I started learning how to sew. That one cannot bring money immediately. Then I started looking for some other things I can do to earn money. You know, additional money to help the home. Then I had a friend who used to travel to the northern part of Nigeria, and I asked if she can help me bring kuli kuli. That one was bringing kuli kuli for me. And I started packing 100 naira. And I will sell. I'll take it to school, sell, and we are making some little change to take care of the home. It got bad that we couldn't even afford to buy toothpaste to wash our teeth. You know, we are using salt. It got bad that the shirt of my husband would have torn, and you know, because I have started learning fashion designing then, I had to remove the collar, change it to the other side. He will use it again, the thing will get torn again, and we have to remove the collar completely. And you know, there's a string that attaches the collar to the main body. So it will not remain that one. So we turn it to high collar. So that's how we were managing with 2 girls. Then I learned how to go to Ojora to go and carry mixed fish, all these mixed fish. And I would bag it, put it inside bag, and you know, like that. So please, I just want to encourage us as women, when our husbands have challenges, especially in their offices or their businesses, we are to stand by them. And you know, there's an English adage that says, an hungry man is an angry man. At that time, the man who has been bringing money in, who cannot bring money in again now, you know, stand to get angry at little things. So we must make up our mind to stoop low, to give him all respect and honor that it takes for a man to be able to have his self-esteem back and be able to still be a man in the house. The Lord will help us in Jesus' name.
Do you know that to make ends meet, she started selling kono, she was selling egg, she was selling bread, she was selling fish, she was selling kuli kuli, she was selling ororo kuli kuli. So how many businesses were we doing?
5 or
So
6.
money
God
will
bless you,
always come in, and I really thank God. No murmuring, no complaining, no grumbling. And that's why when we wanted to build house, I told them to build the house in her name, because she had actually suffered along with me. God bless you.
God bless you, mommy. Thank you so much. God bless you, sir. The next question goes to Reverend Jerry. Please, what can...
Let me just add a perspective.
Yes, we want to have... Yes, sir.
From my own personal experience and from pastoral relationship, let me say that there are 5 things that would test your commitment. We have spoken about 1, which is money. The absence of money or the abundance of money will test commitment. If money comes plenty, you will be tested to misbehave. When money comes in abundance, you might start feeling that you can walk in the sky. I found men, good Christian men, who misbehaved when money came. But the second one that I also see that would test commitment, and is testing commitment today, is opportunities. What will you do if you're traveling out or you're taking a new job will separate you from your spouse? I've seen many people who will jump at any opportunity. If it means going to Dubai, going to US, going to Canada, and leave my husband in Nigeria, I will do that. But let me say that commitment will be tested by opportunities. In our own marriage, we were tested. If we were to live separately, we will make more money. But we chose to live together and make less money. When I had to move to Ibadan from Lagos, my wife had left her first job as a banker to marry me. And when we got married, she became a teacher. She was rising in that profession, and I had to move to Ibadan. And some people said to us, she can remain in Lagos. After all, you have a house in Lagos. And then you'll be in Ibadan. You can be meeting on weekends. So it was opportunity testing us. And she said, no, I would rather leave the job in Lagos and still stay with him. We were earning less, but we did more. So opportunities will start test your commitment. The third thing is circumstances. What if children don't come when you want? What if sickness come? Would you have a secret woman outside if things are not working right? So circumstances will test your relationship, your commitment. And of course, people will test your commitment. There will be those who will look down on your spouse. There will be in-laws who might feel, is this woman fitting to this man? Or is this man the right kind of man she should marry? There were in-laws who felt that I was not fit for my wife. They felt she was a banker and I was a Baptist pastor, earning how many naira? And they called her and said, Choro nwe dada. Are you sure you are not being fanatical? So people will test your relationship. When we got married, there are those who live with us, who want to treat the house as if this is my brother's house. My wife is an alien. They were testing commitment. And so every Christian relationship will be tested by people. And of course, the last one, the devil will test your relationship. He will do everything in his power to make sure you don't succeed. So to add to what was asked, 5 things will test commitment: money, opportunities, circumstances, people, and the devil. If you don't handle them well, you will crash.
I thought you wanted to ask question, but you want to say something. Okay, concerning that, I think my husband has said a lot. I just remember that when coming to this marriage, when we talk about commitment, like daddy and mommy have said, it means that you are not looking back. You have decided not to look back. You want to hold on firmly to this person. I remember when I took my husband, I think he has said it, to my senior brother. And he said, is it the person that you want to marry? A Baptist pastor. But beyond what he has seen then, I saw potentials in him. I know then that, and now that he's godly. So I did not even answer him. In my mind, I said, Lord, I'm going into this marriage. I'm giving everything to stay with him, whatever comes. And I just want to put it in that when we are going into marriage, we must see it as Christian as our own mission field. Because there, like he said, our marriage will be tested with many things. But when we are very intimate with our spouse and with God on our side and with our own commitment to go ahead, God will help us and we'll be able to make it. Thank you.
Let's appreciate God. I want to put a twist to our deliberation. We've been talking about commitment, and we bless God for the kind of response we've been listening to. Now, I want to take this commitment into the other side. How much should a spouse be committed to his partner? And let me create a scenario which I want your family to respond to first, sir and ma. If my spouse just woke up one day and say, we are no more serving God, I am going this way now. I just found out that there is no God. And I've been taught that I must have commitment to my home, to my family. How do I handle this kind of demand of a new or a kind of commitment of this nature? Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me say that there are some manifestation of commitment to demonstrate commitment. One way to demonstrate commitment to something, to someone, to a cause, is to fight for that thing. Is to say, I will not let you go. I have made up my mind. You might be acting otherwise, but man, it is too late. And if I refuse to let the person go in the spirit, he might veer off. Let me put it this way. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he will go. Abi? And when he's grown up, he will not depart. That doesn't mean he will not be tempted to veer away. It means that the GPS, is it GPRS or GPS now? Now, it will automatically tilt back home. If the spouse say, I've had you, but I have not accepted, a statement does not mean reality. So the man wakes up and say, I'm no longer serving God. And so if you are not doing that, you better pack out of my house. That is circumstances testing your marriage. Is that right, sir? And so you fight for it. You fight for it on your knees. You go before the Lord and say, Lord, this is not our conclusion. So you stand in the gap for that erring person. And let me say that almost everybody errs. But it is as we tarry and say, Lord, this brother, this sister will not go. So number one, I would say that for you to demonstrate commitment to your relationship is to say, I have heard you. I'm not going to box you. I'm not going to lock your neck. But I'm not going to release you to the forces of darkness. Because this is something founded on God. So that's my beginning point, if that were to happen. If you allow me, I will still say other things on demonstrating commitment. To demonstrate commitment will also demand that you are willing to, I call them the 5 F's of demonstrating commitment. One is to forsake. You must be willing to detach if you are going to remain committed. You know, actually commitment is saying no to something. Offer and Ruth were in that passage. Abi? Offer kissed her mother-in-law goodbye. Ruth says, I'm not going. I'm going to forsake my land. I'm going to forsake my people. I'm going to forsake my gods so that I can show that I'm committed to Naomi. One problem I find today, sir, is that some people don't forsake the past. They do a little to the right and a little to the left. You hear things like, oh, babami. Now, if you have your eyes in your rear mirror, you cannot drive well. Am I right, sir? So, there must be forsaking. If we're going to really stand, there must be forgiveness. If we're going to be committed. One way to demonstrate commitment is to forgive, is to be faithful, and of course, is to feed the other person. Now, I'm speaking on feeding metaphorically and physically. If you want a committed home, you must take good care of your spouse. You must speak the love language of your spouse. And of course, you must emotionally feed your spouse. And like Mike was saying the other time, you must spiritually feed that person. So if you put the 5 F's together, when that scenario comes, and somebody announces and say, now today, I'm no longer doing that. I will activate my fight cap. The weapon of our warfare is not carnal. It is spiritual. I go into a fight mode. If the person starts settling down, I go into a forgive mode. I go into a feeding mode. I go into a forsaking mode, and I will remain faithful to the person. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Sir, I would like you to add more on that.
Yes, I actually, we thank God for those things that God has said our Reverend Doctor to share with us. I think we must also not lose focus on our text. And I want to draw issues from the text to bring a challenge to every couple that is in this place. You know, because the statement of Ruth was actually talking about dimensions of commitment. Now, we are trying to pick each of those things that Ruth said. You know, the first statement was, do not urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Now, we try to call that a commitment to a lifetime relationship. Commitment to a lifetime relationship. Maybe we should help ourselves. Why don't you look at your wife or your husband and say, I will not leave you till death do us part. Can we repeat it now? Are you saying it with every boldness and courage? Can you help me tell your spouse, it was not your money that brought me to you. Not even your beauty. Not your handsomeness. I am glued to you forever. Now, Even if you ask me to go, I will not go. All right, so that becomes the first issue, commitment to a lifetime. I want to stay with you till death will separate us. Do not urge me to leave you. Now, the second aspect is the commitment to a united cause. She said, where you go, I will go. It's as if to say it is the vision that is driving your life that I'm also going to pursue. You won't be pursuing one vision and I'll be pursuing another, because it's going to become a division. Just like Reverend said, you know, it took a sacrifice. A woman that is a banker to say, okay, I'm going to leave it, I will come together with you. It takes commitment. So it is the vision that is running your life that I'm going to also pursue. Where you go, I will go. For some of us that are seated in this meeting, it may be a time for us to actually sit down. Are we pursuing the same thing? Is it where you are going that I'm also going? Like, whether it was this morning, I said I got to one of our brothers in the north and I was asking him for his wife, and he said she's in Dubai. I said, doing what? She said she's working in Dubai. And you are in Kaduna. I said, so what are we pursuing? Okay, so it is where you go, I will go. It's not just talking about a location, but what is driving us is going to be the same thing. And then the third one is commitment to companionship. For she said, where you lodge, I will lodge. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Togetherness, spending our time together, very key. Just like he said, some people have sacrificed that and say, well, you stay. I went to minister in a church in Abuja, and a woman, the Lord spoke to us while we were preaching. The Lord said, there's a woman in the house who had caught HIV, and that if she will come out, God was going to heal her on the spot. I said it 3 times, nobody came out. Then we continued the meeting. When the meeting was ended, a woman ran to me and said, that thing you said, I am the woman. Please pray for me, sir. I said, sorry, God said he was ready to heal you on the spot. If I pray now, I don't know whether something is going to happen. How did you get it? She said, my husband is in the US. I am in Abuja. My husband's friend is in Abuja. The wife is in UK doing evangelist in UK. It is the friend of the husband that has been sleeping with the woman, and the man had caught HIV. Now he had given it to the woman. So where you lodge, I'm going to lodge. God brought marriage for companionship. We need to spend time together. And then we look at the other statement that she made. She said, your people shall be my people. And we call that commitment to the family of your spouse. Many of our marriages, what is destroying our home is the problem of in-laws. Many of us are not committed. You love your spouse, but you don't love the people that your spouse has gotten married to. And like we used to say, I didn't choose my family members. I found myself among them. I didn't choose my mother. I didn't choose my father. I didn't choose my brothers and my sisters. And I can't throw them away. So if you love me, then you must be committed unto also those people. And for us, we were getting surprised that Ruth had never visited Bethlehem for her to know the kind of people that Naomi will have. But yet she had made a commitment to actually be committed to the spouse family. So we should look at this wholesome level of commitment. And then there's the commitment to serving the same God. She said, your God shall be my God. You get to some family, the husband is attending one church, the wife is going to another church, and the children will also be going to different churches. You will be wondering, what kind of commitment do they have? And when you get to some families, you will see surprises. Maybe they want to pray, for example. It is the woman that is leading prayer. She said, we are going to pray now. every power that is working against us in this family, what are you waiting for? Die. Now the husband start praying, and the man is saying, Father, we know that spirit does not die, but God, we bind them, we send them into captivity in the name of Jesus Christ. One of the children is saying, Holy Mary, mother of our Lord Jesus Christ, we cannot bind any spirit, help us to bind them, help us to bind them. Another one is just doing roko paskanta yakata yakatan gelegegege gelo go in Galaba. So within the same family, how many churches are there? Commitment to serve the same God. So he said, your God shall be my God. And then finally, which was the final one we look at?
To a strong affection. Commitment to a strong affection.
All right, commitment to a strong affection. For somebody to say, where you die, I'm going to die. I love you till death do us part. So commitment to having the same affection one for another. So we should look at this wholesome commitment.